Hi, I'm Joy and this is my channel Yoga with Joy. Welcome. So this is a practice to help strengthen and stabilize, tone the pelvic floor area, so the pelvic diaphragm, the wonderful layers of muscles that we have right at the base of our torso, the pelvis, with your pubic bone here and your tailbone here and your sit bone here and sit bone here. So it's also, you'll notice there'll be your other core muscles, your deep inner abdominal muscles will be engaging slightly, and you'll be toning those as well as we work. So this is wonderful for anyone who is experiencing a weaker pelvic floor. So it might include some incontinence or anything like that, or it might actually be, you might be experiencing some form of prolapse, so just be super careful if there's a prolapse involved, and always check out with your doctor or your physiotherapist. So the only prop that I use in this, other than sitting on, you can use something to sit on at the beginning, I use a block like this, and that's for a bit of a supported bridge at the end, but also you can put it in between your knees to help when we're in semi-supine like this. So you can do this without a block, but it's quite nice having a bit of a supported bridge at the end. Okay, so please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and also look out for any online courses that I'm doing or anything like that. I will put my website just down here so you can check out what's going on. Okay, so see you in a moment on the mat. Okay, we'll start this yoga practice in the seated position. Just making yourself comfortable wherever that is for you. You can use something to sit on if you wish to, a block or a rolled up blanket or cushion or anything like that. Just allowing yourself just for a moment to arrive here on your mat. Feeling your body drop into this practice. Feeling your sit bones grounded on the floor beneath you, and your legs and feet grounding your practice. Noticing a gentle expansion as you breathe in. Maybe a slight lifting from the base of the spine to the crown of the head. And inviting in a relaxation, a gentle, soft contraction as you breathe out. Relaxing shoulders and face, back of the neck. And placing one hand on your heart and one hand around about your belly. And taking a moment to connect with your body. This amazing body, which is journeying with you throughout your life. And then gently opening eyes. Lovely. Okay, so we'll start this core stability, pelvic floor practice by stretching out the legs. And you can carry on sitting on a block, or whatever you're sitting on, or move back any padding you have so that you're sitting quite comfortably and grounded here on the mat. I'm going to start with some leg and foot exercises. So the fascia in the body, that wonderful network of connective tissue that runs all along our body, there's a connection between the instep, the arch of the feet, right up the legs to the pelvic area. So moving the legs and the feet outwards and inwards also connects up to the pelvis, and we'll also be moving the sit bones as we do so. This is a wonderful strengthening, stabilizing exercise. Okay, so we'll start by dropping out the right foot. Exhaling back up, so inhale, dropping out. Exhale, back up. So you'll be dropping out, opening up the sit bone on the right side, and then closing gently as you bring in. Just one more time on that side, and then moving to the other side. So feeling on the left side. Inhale, dropping out. Exhale, back up. And you might notice a slight engagement of your pelvic floor. But at this point, we don't need to make any special engagement like kegels or anything like that. Inhale, open. Exhale, up. That's lovely. Okay, and now both together. Inhale, opening. Exhale, up. Inhale. Feeling the sit bones open. Exhale, closing. Noticing slight engagement of your pelvic floor. That wonderful diaphragm, pelvic diaphragm. Those muscles, the base of your body, the layers of muscles. Inhale, open. And exhale. And now let's place the hands behind, which you can always do, have done anyway if you needed to. And we'll bring the right leg out. We're going to bring out the leg like so. So inhale, opening, and exhale, closing. Just keep following this movement. So inhale, open, and exhale, closing. Notice how your pelvis is responding. So it's going as gently as you need to, and remember that everybody's different. If you've got any aches and pains in your hips, or hips that don't like this kind of movement, just really ease off the movement and just take it. Make adjustments that you need to do for your body. It's lovely. And then back to center. And the other side. Inhale, opening, and exhale, closing. Notice I'm moving my foot slightly inward, so I'm kind of having slightly pigeon-toed on this foot, the left foot, as I come in. Wonderful. Exhale. That's right. So wonderful. Okay, so let's just point and flex the feet. And then coming to stillness with flexed feet. And then we're going to scrunch up the toes and then open the toes. One more time, opening up and then scrunching. And then the feet together. So the feet looking at each other. Feeling the stretching right up. Can you feel that engagement right up your legs? And then away. Inhale away. Exhale together. You might notice your pelvic floor respond. The diaphragm at the base. Here, the base of your body. And then release. And just have a little shake out. Lovely. Okay, so we're bringing ourselves back up. And then we're going to come into Majjhariasana, the cat. So your hands are below your shoulders and your knees are below your hips. And just be here for a moment in this tabletop position. Notice that your spine is running right from your coccyx, your tailbone, past your sacrum, through the lumbar spine, thoracic, and then up to the cervical spine. And so the energy is running from the base here to the crown of the head. And your neck is an extension of your spine. Your shoulders are dropped away from the ears. And with the breath, so connecting to the breathing diaphragm, we're taking an inhale, really opening up the belly, rib cage, chest. And as you exhale, we're just scooping the pelvis here. So here you might notice there's a lifting of your pelvic floor right up into your vaginal muscles as well, and your cervix. Exhale, you might be dropping your head down if you wish. Just have a look and see what's going on. Otherwise you keep yourself straight, that's fine. We're just focusing on the pelvis. Exhale. I sometimes call this like scooping cat, or just pelvic scoops. So the spine is going back to neutral when you come into the inhale. When you come to the inhale, so it's flat back. Exhale, scooping, lifting up your abdominal muscles as well. So really engaging your core muscles. All the layers of your abdomen, all the layers of your pelvic diaphragm. I'm just taking a couple more. Lovely. Then gently to stillness. That's wonderful. And so now we're going to come into a wide knee position, so your toes might be touching, and you're coming back here onto, resting here, back onto your heels. And you might be lifting a little bit, that's fine. So in this position, it might be that you're not so comfortable to go all the way back, but you can use blocks or blankets underneath if it's not so comfortable coming back into this position. If you need to use a chair, then you can also use a chair. Okay, so the hands are straight ahead. And again, we're just going to do a similar exercise where we inhale and then exhale, scooping the pelvis in. So inhale, the tailbone is opening and you're feeling the sit bones really open. Exhale, the tailbone scooping in. And if you feel to arch your back, that's fine. So you're really sticking out your backside here. You can exhale in. If it feels too much on your lumbar spine, your sacrum, you can just keep flat, that's fine. So scooping in on the exhale. You can feel the lifting up, the drawing up of those muscles right here, the pelvic diaphragm muscles. So there's a real lifting as you tilt like this, feeling the lifting of these muscles here. That's great. And you might notice the engagement of your ab muscles as you do so. Just gently drawing back. Thinking of the stability here that's being created by keeping this area toned. And then releasing. And we'll come down into either a wide-legged child posture, balasana, or you can bring your knees together. Just rest here for a moment. Just let it all release, so we're not holding any tension at all. Not engaging your muscles anymore. Just gently relax and release. If you wish to come into this embryo position with your hands behind, either on your forehead, your head over to the side, you may do that too. Your knees will be together. And then gently releasing the hands wherever they are and bringing yourself back up rather. And then we'll come into a cobbler. So this is the Baddha Konasana, sometimes gets called butterfly. Bringing your feet fairly close, focusing on your hips, your pelvis, pelvic floor. And exhale, lifting up. And then inhale. Exhale. Inhale. So there's a lifting as you exhale. Feel the lifting of these muscles here, slight strengthening. Lovely. Just feeling the strengthening as you move. The stabilizing the whole pelvic area. And whatever you're doing in this area, it will also be benefiting your deep inner abdominal muscles as well. Inhale, opening, exhale, closing. And then release down. Okay, so we're going to come down onto the mat. Now do have a block handy if you have one, otherwise it's not so important. That's just for a bit of a supported bridge towards the end. So coming onto your back in semi-supine, so your feet are resting on the mat and your knees are up towards the sky, towards the ceiling. And take a moment of stillness, just resting here in semi-supine. Eyes closed. Taking a breath in to prepare, and then exhale. We're going to be tilting the pelvis so that you're flattening your back onto the mat. And then inhale back to neutral. Exhale, flattening the back on the mat, and just feel the lifting of the muscles in your vagina and the muscles at the base of your pelvis. Inhale. Exhale as you tilt. Now, if you're finding it challenging to keep your knees from moving apart, you can put a block here and bring the knees together. Exhale. Inhale. And a flat block is fine as well, one of the flatter ones. Or a very kind of like squishy ball. They're very useful as well. Take a few more of these pelvic tilts. And now let's start to accentuate this tilt we're going to arch the back, and only if this is okay for your lower back. So we're just doing this to give ourselves a bit of flexibility and movement in the spine. So opening up, exhale, closing. Inhale, opening, exhale, closing. And really feeling the tilt. Can you lifting up your tailbone scooping, pressing the lumbar spine into the mat. Inhale and exhale. You could use your hands as an indicator actually. You can roll your hands open as you inhale and arch your back. Exhale, pressing the lumbar into the mat and lifting up your pelvis just a little bit. We're trying to gain a little bit of flexibility in this area and also engaging the pelvic floor muscles. One more time. Inhale, open. Exhale. Coming back to neutral, so your spine is just resting here. That's wonderful. Okay, so let's keep our feet hip width apart, and we're going to open up. Inhale, open. Exhale, close, and feeling the lifting of the pelvic floor as you close. Inhale, open the knees. Exhale, close the knees so they're just hip width apart again, so they're not touching each other. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. You'll notice engagement of your abdominal muscles very subtly. The deep abdominal muscles will be engaging as you exhale back together. And see if you can keep your lumbar spine on the mat. So if you're arching like me, which I have a tendency to do, so I'm going to draw my lumbar spine in. So it's not hurting my lower back at all, and it's just engaging a little bit more. And do have a play around, that's what I do. I kind of go, oh, what's engaging? What areas? I can feel real engagement of my lower abs and around my bladder area. As I open up, and as I exhale, close. And as I'm exhale closing, I'm drawing in the inner muscles all the way of the layers around of muscle in my pelvic floor, the base of my pelvis, and also around all the muscles, front, back and sides, and my cervix in my vaginal canal. Canal's a funny word, isn't it? Inhale, open. And exhale. Okay, and let's just have a gentle finish by just rocking up again, pelvic tilts. That's quite strong on my lower back. So hopefully yours is okay. Often this kind of deep, very targeted work can be, not for everyone, can be quite strong. So bringing in one knee and then the other. If you notice that your lower back is affected, or your hips, because you're using muscles which actually don't often get used. They often get, the larger muscle groups often take over to protect. So we're just going to have a little rock around, hands on the knees, and then just taking circles one way and the other way, easing out your back. That's lovely. Placing down your feet, and if you have a block, you can just bring a block underneath and take a moment of resting in this bridge posture. You can actually come up if you feel like you really would like a higher bridge. You can come up higher, and if you're one of these super bendy people, I don't recommend it. If this is going to be a challenge, you can come and just rest up and have a bit of a stretch. But you're relaxing pelvic floor at the moment, relaxing the whole area, and there'll be toning happening just from being here. That's too high for me. So I'm going to come back down here and just rest for a moment. So your feet are hip width and your knees are hip width. You can have your eyes closed, resting with your shoulders on the mat. And then we'll release the block, placing it to the side. Bring your feet to the side, to the edges of the mat, and rock from side to side, easing out your hips, easing out the lower back and your thighs. Just a couple more times on either side. And then coming back up, bring your thighs or your knees up here, and you can take hold of your feet. Just rest here if you wish. Otherwise, coming up into happy baby. And then gently release down for a short little Savasana. Resting on the mat. Allowing your whole body to relax. And noticing how your body feels, how your pelvis feels after those exercises. And if you need to, bring your feet, your knees up and your feet onto the mat. If you need to protect your lower back, or have a bolster or something else underneath your knees. So taking this time to check in with how you're feeling, and then welcome in a relaxation, a gentle softness and a stillness. And allowing your body sensations, any emotions that might have come up during the practice or just in life in general, or any thoughts that are just coming and going. Just allow them to be, and let yourself rest, fully rest, just for a moment. And so, either keep resting here, which is always a nice thing to do, or lift up your knees, placing your feet on the mat, and roll over onto the side for a moment. Just have a little rest on the side. And then slowly bring yourself back up to seated with your eyes closed. And bring the hands to the heart. Namaste. And thank you so much for joining me. It's such a pleasure to have you. And here's to a healthy, happy life. Bye.
Tatsavituvareniam Bargo devasya dhimahi Dhiyo yo na prachodayam.